Hi, I'm Dr. Darrell Story. In this first video of 2017, what I thought I would do is showcase a few of the blogs that I wrote in my blog called LucidNeurology on the topic of exercise and cognition. Interesting, but there's a lot of information out there that exercise helps not only the physical body, the muscles and the joints, but also the brain and cognition. The first article that I'll mention, I titled the blog, "Another Study Shows Exercise May Make the Brain Look Better." And it's a review of an article called "Longitudinal Relationships Between Caloric Expenditure and Gray Matter in the Cardiovascular Health Study." So this was a study that looked at subjects that were on average 78 years old. And it looked to assess their self-reported degree of physical activity, and then compare that with how their brains looked on an experimental MRI image. Specifically, they were looking at what was the thickness of their cortex in various parts of the brain, and the cortex is sort of the thinking part of the brain, the important part of the brain that does all the computations and allows a person to have their thoughts, their memories, their vision, and their language. It also looked at the size of their hippocampus, which is the part of the brain that processes memory. And it found that the subjects that had the most reported levels of physical activity had the best looking brains. Their brains had the thickest cortex and a better looking hippocampus. So what does that mean? Well, it means that their brains look better on an MRI scan. But what else can exercise do for a person? Can it just make their brain look better? There's other studies that show also that it helps a person's cognition, their actual performance. In another blog post that I titled "Physical Activity Delays Cognitive Decline," I reviewed an article that was called "Leisure Time Physical Activity Associates with Cognitive Decline." And what this study wanted to determine was whether physical activity or a higher tendency to exercise would delay cognitive decline in older individuals over a 5-year time course. What the study found was that if the subjects entered the study with some cognitive decline, if they were active, they were able to delay further cognitive decline, but the effect wasn't very impressive. The study authors felt that these folks basically missed their opportunity. However, if at the beginning of the study, which was 5 years long, subjects had no significant cognitive decline, if they were avid exercisers, they were able to delay cognitive decline with much more success than the ones that already started with some cognitive decline. So the takeaway message from this article was that, yes, physical activity can really help to slow cognitive decline, but you have to start early. It's best to start before there's any early signs of cognitive slipping. Finally, in a blog post that I titled "Cardiovascular Health May Prevent Cognitive Decline," I looked at an article that was called "Ideal Cardiovascular Health and Cognitive Aging in the Northern Manhattan Study." This is a long-term health study that's being carried on an ongoing basis. And in this part of the investigation, they looked at an idea called Life's Simple 7, which is actually a campaign from the American Heart Association about 7 health factors that can reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke. And what this article looked at was whether it could also improve a person's cognition. And indeed, they did find this to be the case. Subjects in the study that were better adherents to Life's Simple 7 had better cognition, including better problem solving and better short-term memory. So what are Life's Simple 7? It's an appropriate list to go over at this time of making New Year's resolutions. Specifically, the factors are ideal blood pressure, ideal sugar, ideal blood cholesterol levels, exercise, diet, weight control, and smoking cessation. The most important areas were ideal glucose, so avoiding diabetes or treating diabetes if you have it, and not smoking. So as you're thinking about your New Year's resolutions, if you are, keep in mind Life's Simple 7. And go to LucidNeurology.com for more information about dementia, cognitive decline, health risk factors, and other neurology topics. Thanks for watching.